Hello, and welcome to Corrected Perception. So I'm actually having a pretty good day, but I found 15 minutes of silence that I would like to channel. So having a good day, I guess I'm looking back on things that are sort of I'm presently working on, but they just don't feel heavy right now. So maybe it's a good time to channel on that, because then I can kind of get an even higher perspective on it. So I noticed recently that I'm not getting very far with changing my habits with food, and I noticed that my intention is waning, and I blame it on my stress, the kids, etc. The setup of my life, but I just don't know where to start sometimes, and I feel like but I remember my guide saying intention is critical. So I kind of want more knowledge and like a download on how to really strengthen my intention. So let's just see what happens. And this is my intention around changing my lifestyle to improve, right? I feel blocked. Dear Kelly, welcome. We are always so pleased to join with you, regardless of where you're at. It always is a blessing, a treasure to join with you. So you want to have some guidance on how to strengthen your intention, because it feels weak and you feel like there are excuses that are keeping it weak. So we initially want to say, playing with your desires in your imagination is a really fun way to build your intention, because your intention is basically the step between realizing you want something and acting on it. So as you're going through your life, you're experiencing situations, relationships, contrast, and it brings up inside you different emotions. One of those is desire. One of those is realization that you're lacking something that you prefer, and that's desire. And that means that you become aware of a possible extension of yourself, a possible area of growth for you, a possible avenue to reach for. And so that's obviously the area that your intention is. Now, if you feel for some reason that you cannot accomplish that desire, whether it's a weight goal or a money goal or a relationship that you'd like to improve, if there's something that's coming from your past, a belief system, a failure in your past that's causing you to feel like you cannot reach that, then yes, your intention is going to be because you just don't believe it's possible. So you got to build the belief there, right? So what are ways you can do that? First of all, you can start small. You can make your goal, instead of being like supermodel, I don't even know what waist size that would be, but magazine cover to like 5 pounds. And then immediately, Kelly, your mind is going to go to, well, that's going to mean that I have to change the way I eat, and I really struggle with that. Well, then you got to listen to what the words you're saying. You're saying, I really struggle with that. Maybe instead of repeating that to yourself, you could say, even though I know I have a decision to choose between the foods in this moment, I'm going to choose the comfort foods. And even if that isn't like even a good way of handling it, or if it doesn't really feel like success for you, it's an inch away from the negativity. So remember, the ultimate goal is love. And all of these little goals of desire that you have, that your ego has, what we're wanting to do when we, as your spirit guide, want to teach you how to bring heaven to earth, then we transform all of your ego desires into a way to infuse more love into your life. Because ultimately, that is going to be the cure for everything. It's going to be the cure for your body weight, your beauty, if it's your skin that's bothering you. It's going to be the cure for your finances. It's going to be the cure for your relationships. I mean, it's easy to see in relationships. You forgive someone, you stop being mad at them. You start to change your story about that relationship. You start to say, they're doing their best. They don't know any better. I can forgive them because they were probably hurt at one point, It's the same thing with every desire in every aspect of your life. So when we look at food, what we're going to do is we're going to introduce self-love first, because that's really huge. Self-love. So yes, mirror work. Go look in the mirror and say, I love you. And if that feels silly, give yourself a compliment, You had a good hair day today. Or your skin looks really good. Or, you have good taste in clothes. Whatever it is. Compliment yourself until you can sort of create a rapport with the mirror and have lengthy conversations with yourself. I mean, Kelly, look, you're talking into a recorder with yourself, okay? And this is all just a tiny window into the esoteric truth behind this world, okay? It all begins, though, with love. And self-love is really an ideal place to start. How else can you apply self-love in your life? We know this doesn't seem like it has a lot to do with food, but that's the magic of it. When you start to strengthen your self-love, that's exactly what happens. Strength happens inside you. It happens in your mind, and that will affect your spirit, which will affect the flow of energy. And when the only reason you're making bad decisions around food is because your energy is blocked in certain bodies. We have different bodies. We have a physical body, we have an emotional body, we have a mental body, we have a spirit body. Kelly doesn't really know all that well, except that much. And when there's a block in one of those bodies, it's energetic, right? Well, energy, when it's blocked, causes dysfunction in the system on each level. So even though the block is somewhere, it's going to affect everywhere. And so that's what's affecting you, Kel, in the decision to eat poorly. It's a comfort decision because there's pain somewhere. There's pain blocked in. You haven't really found the solution to unblock that pain. And Kelly suspects this is because I haven't found my healing mode yet. And you're right, because we want you to learn self-love as a method of healing. And so we're not going to give you craniosacral. We're not going to give you past life regression therapy. We're not going to make any of those your healing method, because we want you to learn how to heal using self-love. And so use your imagination with the different methods that you can think of for self-love, whether it's pampering yourself with a bath, whether it's allowing yourself not to do the dishes exactly when you feel like they need to be done, if it's just dropping your dirty house and walking out the door and taking your kids to a park instead of finishing all the chores, whatever it is, exercise self-love. Put yourself before your other responsibilities that you think are so important. You got to keep up appearances. You got to keep up with all your deadlines. You got to do this and do that and keep up with everybody else's expectations of you. Well, how about you drop those and put yourself first, whether it's just relax, whether it's exercise and let the kids go to the gym, daycare, where there's so many TVs going that you feel bad about it, but it's not the worst thing in the world. They play. There are benefits too. You getting to the gym is important. Putting yourself first is going to help you have value towards yourself. Right now, you eat because you don't value yourself. You're not valuing your experience. So when you eat junk that you're eating because you're emotionally empty or whatever, then there is a little tiny conversation that happens every single time where this internal voice goes, F it. You know what? I don't care. This is going to make me feel better, and everything else is just going to have to wait because I have to feel better right now. That happens every single time. But you know what? It's a victim story, isn't it? It's abusive. Every single victim story is abusive in a way, and this is unclear. I'm not really feeling this very clearly, except that there is self-abuse happening when you are feeling sorry for yourself, and I'm not really clear on that. It's kind of foggy, but there's more to that. But anyway, that's what's happening when you're hurt. The story is that someone else is a perpetrator, and there's anger towards that other person, but there's also going to be some sort of coping with that's going to involve inflicting pain on yourself somehow. And it may not be obvious, it may be very subtle. There's spending too much money, not respecting your body and doing things with your body that are inappropriate, lashing out, but doing things that don't even feel right. So anyway, that's interesting. But so the point is that as you exercise self-love, you undo that damage. You undo those traumatic, ingrained the traumas, the traumatic memories that are causing these reflexive comfort actions gets undone as you practice self-love. So we know you started with how to strengthen your intention. What we want you to do is practice self-love so that your life becomes more clear. You begin to see your desires and play with them easier, because the self-love is like cleaning your system. It's dissolving the blocks that are causing you dysfunction. And we think that's a very good place to end. We say, Namaste.